Hello, everyone. I just want to wish you a good day, a good morning, or even a good evening to wherever it is that you're plugging into. And thank you for joining Railbookers, as today we're going to discuss about the 5 reasons to travel through Alaska by land. Now, as we begin, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Baltasar Lopez, and I'm going to be your host for today. Now, I'm going to take some time explaining who we are, the things that we're able to do, and of course, some of our top trending Alaska vacation packages. But more importantly, I'll even discuss some of the advantages that you have by booking through Railbookers, which isn't available anywhere else in the marketplace today. Now, before we get started, feel free to download our own free handouts here on the side. Just go to the little side tab, download both files, one of which is actually one of our newest promotions when it comes to making reservations, which I'll go into more of a deeper look shortly. And if you have any questions, just feel free to put them into the question tab, and I'll be more than happy to provide an answer towards the end of the session. The presentation may be between, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes, just depending on the amount of questions that we receive. So whenever any kind of question comes up, just feel free to throw the answers in. Now, I do recognize a few faces or at least a few names on this site. However, there are a few new names. Now, so just so we're all on the same page as in who we are, Yankee Holidays was actually our first brand, and that was established about 48 years ago in 1972. Now, in 2007, Yankee Leisure Group was formed as we began managing multiple brands. Today, we now have three distinct brands. That's Amtrak Vacations, Yankee Holidays, and Railbookers. Yankee Holidays and Amtrak Vacations more focusing on domestic travel, more in the U.S. itself, where Railbookers is more international travel, but we also go cross borders and cross territories. Now, I want to first talk about why travelers love Railbookers. And first off, it's our average hold time. When you contact us, you don't have to wait 30 to 40, even 50 minutes just to reach someone. You actually get directly connected to one of our live consultants where they can begin building your quote. So we can just start working off that, and then we email you over a copy directly to you. Just a 3-second hold time. Now, we do offer bucket list experiences, as when it comes down to it, there's something old school and charming about riding trains between the food cart, the conductor, the wood line right outside of your own window. It really brings nostalgic appeal to train travel. Now, you can feel great to know that we do offer freedom and flexibility on the train. As since someone else is doing the driving, you can feel free to get up, stretch your legs, go roam around the train, go to the observation car, the dome car, the dining car, or even the lounge area, or even your private quarters. And it's the most scenic way to travel. I'm sure that when you fly on a plane, once we're in the sky, all the clouds look the same. And when you're traveling by maybe a tour bus or maybe even just a car rental itself, all the pretty much territory looks exactly the same as you're just going on paved roads with everyone else. Not really much of a vacation. But by taking a train, you're actually right in the heart of the action. There are no paved roads, you're just going on tracks, and they're going over bridges and viaducts, through tunnels, right through rocky mountains and snow-capped mountain peaks, even by raging waters and towering waterfalls. A lot of different sights to see that you would not be able to see elsewhere. And there's room to roam on the train, where there's something for everyone, where you're not confined to a seat like a bus or a plane. And if we don't have a package that fits your needs, we can just build one completely from scratch. Hence our customization capabilities, where any one of our vacation packages we can break down however you like. Now, I do want to mention this. Maybe the question is, how far can we book? How soon can we book? And for us, it's 2 days to 2 years. So if you have a reservation that you want to put together, we can book up to 24 months in advance, including the pricing and the schedules. But if you have a journey that maybe it has to be within a week, well, we can help you out with 2 days as well. Now, this is something very exciting. When you're taking your journey, what happens if you have any kind of questions or concerns? Who do you call? Well, on every one of our vouchers, we have a number that you can call that would reach one of our many offices. So no matter which part of the world you're in, there's an office that's currently operating. I'm currently speaking to you from our Laguna Hills office in California, but we also have offices in Beverly, Massachusetts, Toronto over in Canada, London in the UK, as well as Sydney, Australia. So again, no matter which part of the world you're in, you have someone that you can reach out to with any kind of questions you may have on your trip. Now, this is very, very exciting. Our maximum flexibility offer. This is something to really take advantage of. For anyone who has an existing reservation with us already, or they make a new reservation by the end of this month, you qualify for this kind of qualification, where if you booked a trip and up to 5 days prior to departure, if something comes up where you need to change it or even cancel the trip, you will not incur any kind of fees, as we want to make sure you feel at ease making a reservation. So if you're looking at making a reservation for Italy or even Alaska itself, something changes where lockdowns are extended, knock on wood, but if lockdowns are extended, well then not to worry, since you qualify for this maximum flexibility offer because you already booked by this time, we can just reallocate those funds to a different journey or even extend your trip to a later date. Either is perfectly fine, and if you did want to choose a different location, well, you can use any one of our brands. You can go travel to the US, Alaska, Europe, Japan, any part. It's just that's how flexible it is. So I would really recommend taking advantage of that so you feel at ease making a reservation. Now, I also want to take out the mystery from rail travel itself, where maybe you looked into rail trips before when it came to the European area. Well, do you see all the colors here on this map? Those represent all the different rail systems that are operating throughout Europe, and none of them talk to each other. But with Railbookers, we actually have direct contracts with all of them, which is why we can put together any kind of journey, no matter if you want to be in Italy itself or if you want to go from Norway down to Portugal, we can cover the best routes that there are. Now, this is where insider access comes in. We actually have direct rail partnerships with directly with the rail operators themselves, which allows us to book reservations with rail up to 24 months in advance. It's our partnerships with Trenitalia, Deutsche Bahn, Eurostar, Renfe, Amtrak, and Via Rail, and even the Denali rail system, which we're going to focus on today. All direct partnerships where we can provide excellent service for yourself. But what does Railbookers offer? Because maybe the first thought is just rail itself, but it's much more than that. We actually book yes seat reservations, but as well as sightseeing and activities, hotels from 3, 4, and 5-star properties, ferries, excursions, even overnight rail journeys. We're more of a one-stop shop where we'll put the whole entire vacation package together, and you just have to get ready and get excited just to head on your trip. And that's how whenever you need to call someone to put together a journey, all you have to do is call Railbookers and everything will be taken care of. Now we know because we go, because these are a few of my colleagues where these photos were taken directly from their cell phone, and all of our entire staff are sent on these destination packages so they have the knowledge to better assist you with really putting together the best dream trip that you are truly desiring. So whenever you're traveling to, whether it's Barcelona, Alaska, Norway, even Switzerland, or even in the US, there's someone in the office who's been to that destination that can really paint the picture of what to expect when you're traveling. Now, going specifically on Alaska itself, I just really want to hit this where I get a lot of questions of when is the best time to travel through Alaska by land. And with what we found, the best times to see with all the structure, all the nature itself, and all the all the animals running around, the best time to be able to travel the season is going to be June through September. So that's the time I would recommend really looking at reservations, as well as between June and through September. A lot of the tours and activities are operating during that time frame. Where yes, maybe you can still travel to Alaska, but maybe a few of those tours are not going to be in operation. So June through September is going to be the main peak time. Now, there is, of course, a lot of reasons why to travel over to the Alaska area. Now, when we're talking about land, we're talking about actually going through the terrain itself. Now, first off, we should all know that it's going to be spectacular, just the views that it's going to provide. But when you go over to this destination, of course, there's hotels, but here there's private cabins, especially within Denali National Park, Seaward, and um, Talkeetna. Now, it's much better to be able to explore those different sites versus just seeing it from a distance. You're actually in the heart of the nature itself. Now, when you step off the train, you're right within fresh air in any part of Alaska that you're in. You can avoid 5-hour bus journeys from the cruise ports, as the Denali rail system will be able to take you from point A to point B. pretty much a scenic site in itself. And you can create your own schedule when you're traveling through these areas. There are group tours that some people set, but here you can have your own personal experience, whether it's a day trip just with a small group, or if it's going to be your own different excursions going through these destinations. There's a lot to do in this area. Now, just so you have an idea, the Alaska Railroad System, again, this Denali Rail System, it's a private rail company and one that we have partnerships with. And every single segment is actually a journey in itself where it provides jaw-dropping views of nature. So all those little twists and turns, you're just going through incredible sights over huge bridges and viaducts. And it's just something that you will not be able to see elsewhere. Now, I do want to talk about the classes themselves. There's two main classes to keep in mind when it comes to this Alaska rail system. Now, the two options, first off, it's going to be adventure class. Now, this image that you see here is adventure class. The bottom right is going to be the confirmed seat with large picture windows. They have onboard dining and bar services available for purchase in the Wilderness Cafe. And then you also have freedom to explore between all the adventure classes so you can roam around throughout the train. And you also have access to open seating in the Vista Dome car, which is the image in the bottom left, where they have panoramic windows, but they're curved, so you can see everything overhead as well. Now, the other class that I do want to mention is the Gold Star Service. Now, for anyone who wants the more of the finer things in life, this is the upgrade that you want to be able to take. In this Gold Star service, they have glass dome ceilings. It's on the upper level outdoor, it has upper level outdoor viewing platforms where inclusive dining at the lower level full service dining car. There's a private bar with 2 complimentary adult beverages included in your seat. It's very comfortable, forward facing seats. And they also have Alaskan tour guides providing narration as you're traveling through the land. Now, I wanted to paint that picture of the classes themselves, as our team can, they can quote any one of those 2 classes, as that's what the rail system is able to offer. But all of our packages just always include the adventure class. And if you'd like to upgrade, we can always do so. So when we talk about these vacation packages, first, know that we can customize. But if there was ever a time where you want to have maybe a different rail class, feel free to let us know as we can upgrade any one of the routes. Okay, so this vacation package is one of our popular ones. It's our Alaska Adventure with Alaska Railroad. It's a 9-day tour, and this journey is only starting from $2,699. We include the rail system as well as the hotel properties, and then we also include the tours and activities included. So, of course, Denali National Park is a huge part of this journey, as well as the fjords. So first off, we're going to be visiting Anchorage. So with this one, it's the largest Alaskan port. So we can also make this a pre and post cruise activity. A lot of different museums as well as wildlife conservation centers. So to be able to enjoy. So there's a lot to do, and we also include a hop on hop off trolley, which takes you through the major sets within the town. So you can explore as you like, but you can always stick to the tour itself so you can just see the sights without needing to get off with the tour operator. Now following is going to be Seaward. So with this is going to be the port of Seaward. They also have access on the edge of the Resurrection Bay. Just really great way to be able to unearth the hidden gems within this town. And if anyone's fans of boats, this is going to be the place to be. And then Talkeetna is going to be also a very popular place. It has more of a small village type of feel. And so with this, it also has the 3 major glacial rivers flowing right alongside it. So it's always a great way to be able to, any kind of journey to Alaskan area, this must be in the itinerary. And then Denali National Park. So this park is extremely impressive, 6 million acres of Alaskan rugged interior wilderness. And you'll be able to see a lot of wildlife while you're traveling through this area, which we have cabins specifically in the national park itself. Now we have the Fjords National Park tour included, which hits a lot of major sites, about 6 main locations. Now, on top of that, they also exclusive access to Fox Island, which is also going to provide rare glimpses of Alaskan wildlife. Now, this vacation package is the Denali National Park with Alaska Railroad Southbound. So it's an 8-day tour only starting from $1,499. The main difference from this one and the previous package is it includes Fairbanks. So Fairbanks is known as the land of the Northern Lights. It's the main location, basically ground zero for Alaska of viewing these incredible sights. So if anyone, their goal is to see the Northern Lights, then this would be the best package to see from Alaska. Now, also to Talkeetna is also included in this as well with their cabins, and it's also going to be the best location to be able to include in any one of our Alaskan itineraries. And then Denali National Park. And also, we also have cabins that are located 8 miles south of the park entrance. That's how they have about 46 cabins, and they're open from mid-May to mid-September. What's very fascinating is that we have allotment and partnerships in these desired destinations. So typically, if they're sold out and elsewhere, for us, we still have the allotment that we can offer to you. They're just highly sought after. Now, this is our highlights of Alaska with Alaska Railroad, a 7-day tour only starting from $1,949. Now, it includes the Anchorage and Denali National Park, as well as access to Seaward and Resurrection Bay. The rails included hotels and tours and activities. And when it comes to Seaward, we have many different options to be able to choose from, but a great place to be based out of for the Resurrection Bay tour, which hits a lot of major sites as well. Again, seeing a few fjords. And for those of you who are aware, fjords are the narrow strip of water where outside of the water is just extremely high mountain terrain. So again, a very unique experience. And then we have our Denali Express with Alaska Railroad. So anyone who has less than a week's time, 6 days specifically, it's only starting from $1,349. All it includes is Anchorage as well as Denali National Park. We include the rail on adventure class, as well as the sightseeing tours of Anchorage and Denali National Park. Anchorage, when it comes to the trolley tour, it hits a lot of main sites. It's about an hour long, 15-mile guided tour. It hits Mysterious Earthquake Park, Westchester Lagoon, the float plains departing from Lake Hood, breathtaking mountain ranges, the main sites to see that they stop at to take photography for yourself, and then historic neighborhoods as well as wildlife sightings. So a lot of different sites. You can actually get off at any one of the stops you like, as it operates from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then all you have to do is go back to one of the stops and they'll continue where they left off. So a lot to do in this one area. And then sightseeing tours of Denali National Park, full day tours, lunch included, hitting a lot of the major sites. And there's about 92 miles of just going through Denali National Park that you'll be traveling through on a full day tour, starting at 6 a.m. all the way to 7:30. And the lunch is actually included in Miners Day Lodge. And all the sites that they're seeing is very specific in order to hit a lot of the most enjoyable sites, some bridges to walk across. It's extremely incredible. Now, just to kind of paint the whole picture on this, the whole full circle is why even take the train in the first place, as there are great cruises as well to take. But when you're traveling by train, you're going on lands and sites that you're not going to be able to see elsewhere. So it's much different than just coming off of just staying in the port city itself or requiring a long bus ride to get to the next destination. By train, it's more of just going through an amusement park of land and seeing just incredible scenery that it just continues to go on into new destinations. So when you're taking the train, you're not confined to a seat. You're not confined to just one specific area. You can roam around as much as you like. If you want to be in your private area, you can be in your private seats. If you like to be mingling around with the other passengers in the dome car, you can also do that as well. Or even if you like to go to the dining car. Again, many different options to be able to choose from, and you can either play cards with your traveling companions or look out through your own personal panoramic window right in the land versus just staring from a port itself or from the waterfront. Now, the question is, which destination are you most interested in? This is something that a lot of our clients have been asking about, a lot of these destinations, and a lot of reservations have been made as many people are wanting to travel on land and have their own unique experience. But for yourself, which one mostly caught your eye? Or maybe is there a different destination outside of Alaska that you're more interested in, whether it's Europe, US, Canada, or even Japan or Australia? Feel free to throw that in there. I'd love to know the answers to that. And as you do, feel free to put your answers. I'm going to share with you the customer testimonials we recently have, and I'm not going to read them off word for word. I'll allow you to do so. But with what I found as a common similarity is just one-stop shop and convenience, where you really don't have to worry about anything. Just give us a call. We'll take care of everything for you. And the one-stop shop factor, where instead of wondering the hotels to call, the tours, the rail, making sure everything lines up properly and having a file full of multiple reservation codes, just give us a call and we'll take care of the whole entire package. Now, again, just to share again, why do travelers love utilizing Railbookers is first off, the average hold time being 3 seconds. Again, you get directly connected to our team, so we can really offer you the best service possible, where we wouldn't want you to wait on hold. We would want you to directly reach our entire staff, knowledgeable consultants. We offer bucket list experiences now, where you can now knock off things off your bucket list, the big, large world map that we all have on our walls. You can start scratching out Alaska and hitting sites that you would have not been able to hit if you just stayed on the port cities itself. Now, the freedom and flexibility allows you to know that there's always something for everyone on the train, whether it's privacy or whether it's community, whether it's dining or if it's just looking out the panoramic windows, there is something for you and you have room to roam where you can feel free to get up, stretch your legs, do as much as you like, roam around as much as you like, and you're not confined to your seat. And it's the most scenic way to travel. Again, you're going right through the heart of the land, through the terrain itself, snow-capped mountain peaks, rugged terrain, flowing waterfalls, and you're not going to be able to see it elsewhere as you're going on tracks versus paved roads. And every one of our packages are completely customizable. So if you want us to upgrade the rail, or if you want to have upgraded cabins or hotels, or if you want to have multiple cities connected, or even if you want to make it a pre and post cruise trip and then connect it over to Canada or even the Seattle going into the US. Any one of those possibilities we can completely do. And if you have any questions, if we can do something, just give us a call, and I'm sure you'll be very impressed on the service we can provide. Now, I'm not going to stay on this side too long. It's our awards and recognition. It's our just where we recently have been featured from Wheels of Fortune, Forbes, Afar, USA Today, Travel Weekly, Travel and Leisure, and many of our other awards, which we're very grateful that we're able to provide excellent service. But we just want to continue to do so. Now, this is the maximum flexibility offer. Again, I would highly recommend taking advantage of this because for all of us, we all want to travel. We all want to be able to experience and dream and then be able to see all these incredible sights. But during the current pandemic, it kind of feels like it's a pause on all of us, where we wouldn't want to commit to something where we don't know what's going to end up in the near future. So this is why this is here. As long as you book before the month ends, you can, I would say from today up to May 31st, or if you already have a reservation, if something changes where you need to adjust something or extend it to a later date or change locations, you're not going to face any kind of change or cancellation fees by doing so, as long as we have 5 days prior to departure and your trip was booked before May 31st. So again, so reach out to our consultants, receive a quote, let them go over in detail about this maximum flexibility offer so we can take care of your reservation so you can plan for your journey. And if anything changes, you just know that we have your back and we can adjust. And when you're ready, we're ready. We were extremely grateful that we saw the pandemic kind of getting worse and worse and kind of shooking up the travel industry, where we were able to pivot quite easily into home-based locations. So we're all working from home and we're all very excited. Our entire staff have been helping out many of our clientele and servicing them the best way possible. And a lot of people are excited. We're having daily reservations on these Alaskan journeys, and we want to be able to do the same for you. Now, if you'd like to visit our website, it's very easy to navigate. Just go on railbookers.com. You can go on trip planning or how to request a brochure or even request a quote or see many of our other locations that we're offering. But just be aware you are not able to book online or receive a quote online. It's always going to be by calling in to speak to one of our live consultants to get a quote and to make a reservation. So it's just calling the number on the bottom of the screen, the 888-829-3040. Now, if there was maybe you can always call us to receive your live quote or make a reservation. But what I would recommend is reach out to a travel agent that you're currently working with, or even speak to your local travel agency. That's how you can speak with them and then provide them the information on the Railbookers reservation you want to make. And then we can work with your travel agent. That's how you don't have to worry about anything. You can just dust off your hands, leave it to us, and we'll take care of your trip and we'll have it all prepared for you. So again, I would highly recommend reaching out to your travel agent or anyone that you're working with, and then have them reach out to us. But if you'd like to speak with us, feel free to give us a call directly. Now, don't forget, feel free to download that free handout there on the side. You really want to take advantage of that offer. And if you have any questions, now is the time to input them in the question box, as I'll be going into the questions themselves now with the remaining few minutes that we have. So again, if you have any questions, now is the time to put them in. I'm going to open up the tab now. Okay, perfect. So I see here, so group options, can we provide any kind of brochure when it comes to groups? So when it comes to groups, we do not specialize in taking an entire group trip. What we would do is we would just divide up the reservation in individual reservations. So if you and your family would like to take an entire journey, completely fine. We'll just line them up on the same schedule, same cabin, same hotels, but it would just be their own reservation in itself, which can lead to their own price itself, as everything's live dynamic pricing. So we wouldn't be able to guarantee a group rate for everyone. And great question here. So how are changes being made in light of COVID-19? So that's a lot of questions we've been receiving from, like, how are we adjusting to it? How is how the rail systems being up to date with their cleanliness, and how is Railbookers as a company being able to back up all the reservations. So what's great about Railbookers is we do not specialize just in one territory. We do not just specialize in one area. We're worldwide. So when we saw that there was a decrease in certain European areas and then a decrease in certain types of travel, we saw an increase of other destinations, hence Alaska. Many people are asking us for Alaska itself. So we've had a lot more travelers wanting to just relocate, even travelers that we currently had booked for European areas. We just redirected them to Alaskan journeys. They were able to take the same funds and just apply it to these trips. So as for adjusting with our company, just know that we've been continuing to go strong. Of course, reservations every day, and we want to be able to do the same for you. Now, when it comes to the rail systems, we always are up to date with what they do in order for cleanliness, and the trains have still been operating to this day throughout this whole entire COVID experience. And the main reason is because they're very clean on the trains. Every hour, they typically wipe down all the rails. This is for major rail systems currently, where every hour they wipe down the rail systems. They moved from using cash to just online payments and card payments. So they do not exchange hand-to-hand contact, and they are practicing the wearing masks in order to operate on the train. And if someone doesn't have it, most of the times they have them available. So everyone's been doing extremely fine taking the trains, and that's the reason why that they're still operating to this day. Okay, great question. So Pamela, I see you're asking about potential whale watching tours out of Alaska, maybe going from Fairbanks to Anchorage. So I see maybe seeing the northern lights as well as whale watching. I would recommend speaking to one of our consultants because the tours we have, they're the ones that are the most demanded. However, we do have a back-end system with many different options to be able to swap or choose from, where if someone wanted to extend a night in Anchorage, we can always add on an additional tour that we still have available. It's just not listed in the general package itself. So I believe we may have options for whale watching, but it's just best to speak to our consultants in order to go deeper into that. If for some reason we do not have a whale watching tour to swap or even add in, then typically we get asked for Switzerland, we get asked for ski tours, and we actually do not have ski tours. So we just get someone an extra night in that area, and then they have a whole day to do whatever ski tour activity they like when they're actually in the area. So if that's the same case for whale watching, if we do not have the physical tour, we can just leave that day completely open for yourself, and then you can feel free to arrange that whale watching tour in order to do so while we're still taking care of the travel. So either or is going to be completely fine, but I believe we may still have that tour. It just takes one of our consultants who work on this on a daily basis. Now, Sarah, great question. So can we book can we book trains only, or do we have to have a package? So with Railbookers, we are not able to book just the trains themselves. We do need it to have at least one hotel or cabin within our itineraries with the rail. And the reason for it is because if you were to try to get rail pricing outside of 3 or even 6 months internationally, you would only get estimated cost. You would not get the exact rail cost for the trip, and typically you're not even able to make the reservation. For us, we can actually do it up to 24 months in advance. And the reason why is because we realized the rail systems were only booking commuters. That's why they only needed to release it a few months out. So we just let them know that we want to book vacation travelers. And they allow us to be able to book up to 24 months in advance as long as they can see that we're booking vacation travelers. And the only way to prove that is that they have a hotel night. So the minimums for rail bookers is at least one rail connection and one hotel night. As long as we have that, you have access to all of our services. So yes, we are not able to book just the rail, but it's very simple to be able to just have hotels and rail included, so you can have our services. Now, yes, I see here, great question, honeymoon options. We have many honeymoon options. We've had many people do honeymoons on our journeys. We've even had people propose and say yes, and they send us their photos, and it's very exciting. Typically, it's going to be in Paris, but whenever you want to look at a specific trip, even Alaska, we can set a few things up, even request maybe um, a few things in the hotel rooms themselves. But it would just be specifically working with our res agent, as they would be able to put in those requests to the hotel properties, saying it's a honeymoon or saying it's an anniversary, so they can maybe put a little extra things in the hotel rooms itself or the cabins. But it's still going to be up based on it's going to be up to the honeymoon and making that experience happen, but we can still see if we can add in just little things here and there. Okay, great question. So I see, do we have any packages just including whale watching itself? And it's like I mentioned earlier, we don't, not on the top of my head that we have specific whale watching packages, but when you speak to our consultants asking, do we have any tours involving whale watching in Alaska, they can pull up the full list of tours and activities and actually send it to you of which tours we can pick and choose from. And one of those may be whale watching. I just currently don't know off the top of my head the specific package that may have that. Great questions, by the way. Okay, Jennifer's asking if what if they book today, what would the deposit look like if there is a deposit, and when would final payment be due? So the deposit is $250 per passenger, plus the cost of trip protection, whether if you'd like to have it or not, that is an option. But it's $250 per passenger, and final payment it does not need to be received until 90 days prior to departure. So As long as the trip is outside of 90 days, we can take the deposit and we do not require monthly payments. You can pay at any pace you like, or you can just wait till the 90-day mark to pay the final payment. Now, if the trip is within 90 days, then we do require the full payment in order to book the journey. Great question here. So, do you recommend that we use specific airlines? That's actually not really anything I can really speak on, as when it comes to the airlines, we are a one-stop shop, but basically all the land portion of the journey, not exactly the airfare. So of course the flights would be up to yourself or your travel agent to do so, but I believe maybe our consultants have the ones that have been to Alaska and been to these destinations. They probably use specific airlines that they may recommend when you call in. But for myself personally, I wouldn't know the best airline to utilize, as I just haven't had experience in that area with the airlines. So I would just, when you speak to our consultants, those are great questions to bring up to them. Again, they're the rail experts who've been to these destinations. And when you call in, again, you're going to get immediately connected to any one of them in a matter of a few seconds. Okay, perfect. I want to thank everyone again for joining Railbookers on this journey. And again, just feel free if there's any kind of questions you may have or a trip that you want to just quote, just give us a call. I'm sure you'll be very impressed on the service you're able to receive using Railbookers. And again, speak with your travel agent so they can also assist you as well. So I hope you have a great day. We look forward to making those quotes for you. This is Baltazar from Railbookers. Stay safe.